Have you ever felt like you are doing everything right, but life just keeps throwing curveballs your way? We have all been there. You pray, you work hard, you stay faithful, and yet things do not go according to your plan. It is in those specific moments that the phrase trust God becomes the hardest thing to actually do. But here is a truth we often forget. God is not looking for you to understand his plan. He is looking for you to trust his character. When the path ahead looks dark and the map in your hand does not make any sense, that is exactly when faith is supposed to take over. It is easy to trust when the bank account is full, the family is healthy, and the career is soaring. But real faith is forged in the middle of the mystery. Think about what the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. It tells us to trust in the Lord with all our heart and lean not on our own understanding. In all our ways, we are to acknowledge him, and he will make our path straight. Notice that it does not say lean a little bit on your own understanding. It says do not lean on it at all. This is an incredibly tall order because we are naturally wired to want answers. We want to know why this happened, why that door closed, or when this difficult situation will finally change. But our human perspective is inherently limited. We see a tiny, tiny piece of the puzzle, while God sees the entire masterpiece from beginning to end. When we try to figure everything out on our own, we end up carrying a weight we were never meant to bear. In the book of Isaiah, God reminds us that his thoughts are not our thoughts, and his ways are not our ways. As high as the heavens are above the earth, so are his ways higher than our ways, and his thoughts higher than our thoughts. If we could understand everything God was doing, he would not be God. There is a profound peace that comes from simply admitting that we do not have the full picture. It releases us from the burden of trying to control the outcome. We can rest in the fact that even when things look chaotic to us, they are perfectly ordered by him. Look at the life of Joseph. He was a young man with big dreams, yet he ended up being sold into slavery by his own brothers, falsely accused of a crime he did not commit, and then forgotten in a dark prison cell for years. None of that made sense at the time. I am sure there were many nights where he sat in that cell wondering where God was and why his life had taken such a sharp turn for the worse. But looking back at the end of the story, every single trial was a necessary stepping stone to the palace where he would eventually save an entire nation from famine. What looked like a setback was actually a setup. The same God who is with Joseph in the pit and the prison is with you in your current struggle. He is working behind the scenes, weaving together a story that is far better than anything you could ever write for yourself. You might be very familiar with Jeremiah 29:11, where God says he knows the plans he has for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. The key word there is his plans. Sometimes his plan for our growth involves a season of waiting or a detour we did not expect. If you are in a season right now where things feel confusing, unfair, or just plain wrong, please do not give up. The silence of God is not the absence of God. Just because you can not feel him moving or see the progress does not mean he is not working tirelessly on your behalf. Faith is very much like walking through a thick fog. You can usually only see the single step right in front of you. But as you take that one step, the next one becomes visible. You do not need to see the final destination to keep moving. You just need to trust the one who is holding your hand and leading the way. Romans 8:20 promises that God works all things together for the good of those who love him. It does not say he only works the good things together. It says all things. That includes the heartbreak, the delays, the mistakes, and the closed doors. He can take every broken piece of your life and turn it into something beautiful if you just give him the pieces. So today, I want to encourage you to let go of the heavy need to have it all figured out. You do not need all the answers to have peace. Breathe out your anxiety and breathe in his grace. Trust that the creator of the universe has your name written on the palm of his hand. He has not forgotten you, and he certainly has not failed you. The situation that does unmake sense to you today will one day be a testimony of his faithfulness. Keep showing up, keep praying, and keep trusting, even when it does not make sense. Thank you so much for watching. If this message encouraged you, please consider subscribing for more content like this and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. God bless you.